Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Welcome if you're new. I'm Stacy and today we're going to be working in my handmade journal. With the I went ahead and splashed on some watercolor on several of the pages a couple of nights ago. I was just listening to my book and playing around with my watercolors and creating little backgrounds to paint and draw on in the sketchbook. And this kind of peach page really spoke to me. I went ahead and put in these are Beam Paints, which I'm working with right now, and I'm using my wild salmon for the background on this one. All that sparkle you see is the bronze kind of mica that's in the pink paint. It's kind of a earthy, soft pink, which I love, and I thought it looked really nice with the peach page. And I decided, well, I'm gonna draw with my pencil and do a little sketch to paint in. I may possibly get some ink down. I don't know. We'll see. Going right in with graphite and drawing a cute little hummingbird. There's a larger piece that I created last year of several years ago actually, of hummingbirds in ink, watercolor, and pan pastel that I absolutely love, and I gave it to my mother without scanning it in, which was a mistake on my part because it took a lot of time to do that piece. Coffee. But in my head, I was thinking, well, I could recreate it. I could kind of recreate the feeling of it, maybe. So I decided to pull a bunch of reference photos on Pixabay and put them in my birds folder, because you could have collections on Pixabay and on Splash and all those sites of pictures, photos that you like. So I pulled a bunch of them of cute little fluffy hummingbirds and decided I wanted to do some practice drawings before I do the larger piece. So this is one of my practice pieces, my little practice drawing. Think he's super cute. I love hummingbirds though. I think they're adorable. And I like them when they scrunch down and they get all poofy. They fluff their feathers all out. Because realistically, they're like the size of my thumb. And my thumb is pretty tiny. They're little bitty things. But yeah, I like it when they fluff all up and look all haphazard. And I do take a painful amount of time on this drawing. This video was almost an hour long. I've time-lapsed it because it takes a hot minute to get him sorted. And voiceovering an hour-long video is challenging. Voicing over a time-lapse is less stressful for me, so that's another reason why I time-lapsed. Getting in the deeper colored feathers on the neck area with the pencil. I shouldn't have used so much graphite, or I should have maybe picked some up with the kneaded eraser before I went in with the watercolors, but I honestly didn't think about it when I was creating the piece. Sometimes if you use a lot of graphite when you're using watercolor on top, or anything really, painting on top, it'll pick up that graphite and mix it in with your paint, which sometimes can be super favorable, but oftentimes is not. Using the side of the pencil here and letting the texture of the paper and the glittery paint that's already down kind of bleed through. I don't want to obliterate that sparkle underneath the bird. I want it to kind of peek through here and there. Because hummingbirds have those super jewel colored, not all of them, but most of the ones I've seen have those jewel colored feathers that look super sparkly. Getting in his little feathers here, his little tucked in wings. And all of his other feathers are kind of fluffed up around him. I had to sharpen the pencil. There we go. Because I wasn't getting that crisp line. Just quickly drawing them in, trying not to overthink it. I do get into that. All right, how many feathers do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, we gotta put in 5. And instead of super stressing out about that, because most people aren't counting the feathers in a drawing, unless it's a very technical, realistic drawing. That's not something I tend to worry too much about. I haven't done a technical, like super realistic drawing in a long time. Those take hours and hours. I'm getting in some cross hatching and hatching for the texture of the feathers there, which you can't see once I put in the paint. I'm not sure why I do this, but I will do a drawing in pencil and instead of just leave it alone, because it's a graphite drawing, and graphite drawings for me, because I forget to do the super dark darks. I kind of stay in that medium dark to light range, and I don't ever go to the super dark darks when I'm using a graphite pencil like this. Some of the ones I use don't get dark, and the graphite tends to have that, when you're done drawing, it has a little bit of a shine to it, which I don't particularly care for. But I take all the time to do this graphite drawing, this really kind of nice graphite drawing, and then I go over it with watercolor, and most of the drawing is not visible after the fact. I could have just done a basic sketch and watercolored over the top of that. But at any rate, it was fun. I was listening to my book and just going at it, just kind of enjoying the creative process. That is the most fun part for me, is just really getting in there and letting things be what they are. Not expecting it to be a completely finished, like, professional piece of art, but I tend to always shoot for finished. I have a problem with leaving things in my sketchbook unfinished to me. Like, I need it to feel finished to me. So a lot of people could stop here, just put the branch in and call it good. Like, he's good. Ta-da! I did a drawing. But I just can't bring myself to stop at this point. When I get his little tail feathers in, and yeah, the drawing is pretty much done, I'm like, he needs more. He needs a little pop of color. So let's get out the watercolors and give him a little pop of color. And then pretty soon instead of just putting in a pop of color, I'm completely painting him in. At the last minute there, I was like, all right, while he's floating in space, I probably should give him a branch or a twig or something to sit on. So here's his little tip of a branch that he's sitting on. Keeping in mind that they're super tiny, so they can perch on the tiniest of twigs and flower petals and things like that, because they weigh nothing, right? And here we go with my beam paints again. Can't even help myself. Give them a little spritz and start dropping in color. I'm going with let's see, what color is this one? Fiddlehead is the mica one. Yeah, the fiddlehead green, and the one next to it is milkweed. And I kind of go back and forth between the two. Because I think I want the mica, and I think maybe there's enough mica on the page. There might be enough. Fine paintbrush here, just has a I think it's my Princeton Velvetouch round number wax. It comes to a really nice point, and you can get some actual pretty broad strokes with it as well when you flatten it down on the page. Going in with some iridescent blue on that wing, and I end up obliterating all of this later on. And I'm just winging it. Haha. Pun not intended. And throwing color in where I feel like throwing in color. I want him to have a pretty white chest, little fluffy white chest and fluffy white undertail. And then kind of the purpley blue forehead. And some hummingbirds have a lot of colors on them. They're like, you can get pretty much crazy with the color selections on hummingbirds. Some are not. Some are pretty subdued, and probably the females, right? I haven't ever looked into why the coloring on birds, but general rule is the males are very colorful and the females are they don't need to show off. They are beautiful no matter what. Oh, another sip of coffee. You know, I bought myself this little hot plate for my coffee mug, and it has turned out to be one of the best purchases of the year. I bought it when I first moved here because I'm tired of my coffee getting cold because I forget that it's there. And I finally reach over and I'm taking a sip of, I don't care for cold coffee. Taking a sip of cold coffee, and I gotta go warm it up in the microwave and come back. And yeah, this little hot plate is really nice. I enjoy it. And tea. I mean, it's good for tea too. A little side tangent. I kind of been taking my time with this too. I'm in no hurry to get the piece done, and just working in the sketchbook, so no pressure, no expectation of, even though I do usually finish the piece in like I said, there's no expectation to make it perfect or to because it's a sketchbook. It doesn't have to be a beautiful piece. I'm shooting for that, but oftentimes that doesn't work out. The hot air balloon and forest picture paintings that I did in here, and those videos are on the channel as well. I'm not real thrilled with. Like, they're less than what I expected and wanted them to be. But you flip the page, and then the lantern painting, which is also up on the channel, I love. I think it turned out great. And then you're flipping through, and you're like, oh, cute mushrooms, and oh, that's a cute bird, and yeah, that's what I want this sketchbook to be, just full of cute, pretty art. I love the texture of this paper too. I put a little bit of matte medium on, what is this again? Liquitex. Come here. Liquitex Basics Acrylic Matte Fluid Medium, which I also use for collage, because you can. And I actually collaged in all of my stickers with this because the paper is textured and feels a little bit like fabric, like a linen fabric. And I knew the stickers weren't going to stay stuck, so I did use the fluid medium to kind of glue them down, and it dries matte and clear, doesn't mess up your page. And then I went ahead and spread it out on several of my pages, and I like the texture that it offers on the page. It kind of gives a gritty kind of texture, which, now that I'm thinking about it, would be really nice for a colored pencil piece in here. Gonna have to pull out my colored pencils. I do love my colored pencils. I miss having a big space and I can see where all my art supplies are on a shelf, like right visible. I can see what I have at a glance and decide to work with that medium. I'm very out of sight, out of mind. I forget that I have certain things when they're closed up in a cabinet, and I won't remember to use them. So maybe my next piece will be a little bit of a colored pencil piece in here. Ooh, that'll be fun. And I do love the little bit of blue that I put in on the background on this one. And I was intending to do a bird on this page. I just wasn't sure what bird. So I did intentionally put in like a little bit of a blue background with that pink peach mica. And it kind of worked out now that I'm looking at it on the screen. With that little branch coming up, the sparkly mica paint droplets kind of look like little flowers or autumn leaves on the tree branch, kind of a whimsical, mythical little sparkle tree. Yeah, I dig it. And that subtle blue in the background is really, really nice. I'm trying to stay subtle with the background so that they're not too powerful. Like that purple in the mushroom painting. You'll see that next week. I got a little carried away with that. So be on the lookout for the mushrooms. It's a ink and watercolor one, also time lapsed. That one was about an hour or two, and it'll be on the left hand page from the bird. And yeah, I decided to go ahead and paint in the twigs that he's on, or she. I really like how this turned out. The branch looks like it's kind of popping right off the page. And I don't get that feeling on purpose. That weird, every once in a while I do a piece that looks very 3D. And I don't know how I do it. I really don't. And I don't notice it either when I'm done, even when I'm done the painting and I'm looking at it and I'm really enjoying it, and I can't quite figure out why I like it so much. Usually that's what I've done. I've made it a little bit 3D without meaning to. Yeah, super cute. I dig it. Let me know what you think in the comments below about the little bird, about working in this book. How do you feel about me obliterating the ink drawing? I'm going in with the tip of the brush and kind of trying to get in a little bit of shadows under the wings without obliterating the sparkle, all of the sparkle. So that's what I'm doing here. Just a little bit of shadowing. It's just a little too shiny. And yeah, trying to remember to sign my page and date it so that I know when I did the piece, because I'm not doing the sketchbook chronologically. Yeah, that's it. We're all done. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're new. Bye.